Welcome to Disney World.
Welcome to Disney World!
What you see here is a Hunter 22046, as collectors like to call the Disney original.
Because this thing was actually installed at Walt Disney World.
This was in the tiki room, as we all know.
Yeah. It's been so many years since this,
Since the install took place.
Yes. Well, both since the install took place and since the fans were saved. I think most collectors know about this already. This fan in itself has changed hands at least like 3 times, so.
If not more.
But this is awesome. This is before they started calling it the original. So these are already kind of hard to find by themselves. The only real difference between these and a regular original is this kind of like...
The switch housing.
Yeah, kind of like a more rounded switch housing.
And also this did have a trumpet canopy, but that is still in the tiki room to this day.
Yeah.
On these piece of shit. What is it? Hampton Bay gazebo?
It's probably like a gazebo or a gazebo too, because, you know.
Just silliness.
We'll get more into it as we go through the speeds. I'll turn it on low.
It also does have a really satisfying chain pull.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion, at least.
So these fans were saved... well, actually, first, before we get into that, these fans were removed because a little thing called Hurricane Floyd came through Florida in, I believe, 1999. And it was really bad. I wasn't even, like, alive during that time. But it took out a huge portion of, like, Disney, or at least damaged their property. And throughout all that, all the fans were damaged, or even if they weren't, they just ended up replacing a ton of these just to be safe, I guess, because the entire park used to be filled with these types of hunters ever since it was opened in, the early 70s or whenever that happened.
Yeah, so these things have pretty much been sitting outside in the elements for about 18 years, I think.
Yeah, so these were not even thrown away, even though everyone thought they were. They were just sitting in storage in, like, puddles of water for I don't even know how many years.
Almost 2 decades. I'm going to turn this on medium.
Okay. That was until fellow collector Mark Welker, his friend's uncle, I believe is how it goes, was a maintenance worker at Disney, and maybe he still is. And he found these fans, and then somehow, like, through a friend of a friend connection, Mark was able to save, like, I don't know how many there were.
There was 6 out of the 7 that were there, so only 1 was not saved.
Yeah. One of them, was, like, these were all in awful condition. What you see now is, like, them after being fully restored by him.
Walker fully restored this one here. He did the paint job and everything.
Gave it. None of these came with blades either. So, needed new blades, needed new, like, basically everything. Except the speed transformer still works somehow.
Windings in the motor.
Yeah. So the core necessities still work.
Yeah, it's crazy. I cannot believe the motor and the speed transformer actually still work despite being outside for almost 20 years.
Shows you how overbuilt these things are.
And also, one more thing, when I got this fan, one of the cardboard insulators in the motor were rubbing on the rotor. So I just broke a piece of that cardboard insulator off, and now it's working just fine.
And this thing is just an absolute beast. I really wish that hurricane was not a thing, so that the park could still potentially be filled with these fans.
That would be really
Because pretty much none of these survived, like, after that hurricane. I think there was maybe, like, 1 or 2 that were spotted still in, like, the early days, but they're definitely gone now. But yeah, so awesome. Thankfully, like, a decent amount of them were replaced with, like, newer originals from the, like, early 2000s or late 90s or whatever. But then there was the onslaught of Hampton Bay gazebos and stuff like that, just, like, stuff that's more meant for outdoors, but just, like, total junk.
I'm still really happy to have this, though. It's awesome.
Yeah. So Matt got this from Fanimation.
Yeah, paid a lot of money for it. It was worth it, though.
Absolutely.
This replaced that white and brass Hunter original that was here for like the past 3 years. The one that had that really nice light kit. I just thought this one was so much cooler. And I only ever use it on high because I want to preserve the speed coil.
I'm gonna get a shot of the tag that's on this side. It's like, there it is. So there's no date code, sadly, but
this is either from the late 60s or early 70s. Because I think they were installed in 71, if I'm remembering right, when Disney opened.
the tag still survived, and you know, they're still out of like the what 6 or 7 that are still around. It's like
Yeah, 6.
still potential for some of them to be restored. This is the only one that I know of, except for Patrick's, where it's like
Fully restored.
yeah, fully restored back into like a blue color. Mark has a different one that's black, but yeah.